Mike from Converse in the Ninjaverse, and I'm here with
Jay Taylor.
Mike Frangione.
And you guys are working on an independent comic.
We are. We're from On the Square Comics. We're a local publisher out of Lumberton, New Jersey. We've got 2 titles that we've released so far. Centralia, which Mike is the writer and I'm the artist. And we also have a second title, Opposing Forces, which I'm the artist for, and the writer is a gentleman named Troy Wilkins, who'll be here tomorrow with me as well.
Tell me a little bit about the books.
Sure. Centralia is actually something that's percolated around in my head for about 10 years. In my day job, I was once driving through Pennsylvania, visiting some offices for my business, and I passed by the town of Centralia. And as I drove home, passing a couple farms and different things like that, and thinking about the town of Centralia where there's a mine fire burning. I don't know how much folks know about that, but
that's the one that's been burning for like 80 years or something like that?
It's been burning
I remember
for...
learning about that in 8th grade.
Yeah, burning about 60 or 65 years and expected to burn for another 200, 300 years. So that coalesced with a couple other things into something that is in no way, shape, or form recognizable as anything to do with the mine fire so far, but is a sci-fi epic that we like to think of as a combination between Dune, Casablanca, and Star Wars. So once I kind of thought about this for a long time, it was originally in my head maybe a novel, but I've always been an artist, and in the past, say, 2 years, I've got really serious about trying to realize the dream of creating our own comic book. That's when I brought this guy along, because while I love to tell stories and I love to draw, when it comes time to put words in people's mouths, I turn it over to this guy.
So it's a cohesive partnership.
Definitely. We definitely work very much Marvel style. We come together usually once a week, talk about where the next couple of pages are going. I go back and draw it, turn it back over to him. He comes along and does the Stan Lee thing and writes the dialogue.
Goes it in, puts words to your pictures.
Yes.
Correct.
There's some plotting that goes on there too.
Yeah.
You know, and I can completely understand the driving through Pennsylvania and seeing the names of towns.
Yeah, right.
That it just kind of gives you ideas. There's a lot of odd Pennsylvania towns.
Definitely.
When you're driving through and you see Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Well, that's a...
And you see Buttsville.
Maybe those give you different ideas.
Oh, there was another one that always gets me. Something that's like Fuchstown, Pennsylvania.
I don't know that. I know the other two, but I don't know that one. So
a smaller one off one of the smaller highways.
Carbondale, that's another one. I was
Yeah.
driving up by that time. So yeah, it's a scenic area. I mean, we live in Jersey, both of us, and we've known each other for 30 some years.
Yeah.
So but we've always been local, and or pretty much local, and in Pennsylvania, that was the impetus for the book.
Cool. And the other book?
The other book is called Opposing Forces, and you know, the motivation there is really to tell a classic superhero team building story. It's they're archetypes that, you know, we all know and love. You know, one character is sort of water-based. It's a little bit of an analog for Aquaman in some regards. Another character is a female character. She's kind of sort of the lead of the book. Her name's Earhart, and she's sort of a flight character, anti-gravity powers. And then the third character who's spotlighted in this issue is named Instinct, who surprisingly enough has animal powers. That's the first of 2 books that are going to introduce all the members of the team. And then once we kind of are done with that kind of 2-issue miniseries to introduce the team, we'll begin an ongoing that kind of fleshes out their adventures going forward.
Would you consider yourself a Marvel guy? I know you already brought up the Marvel method. Or are you a DC guy? Or are you a little bit of both?
I'm a Marvel guy, I think. I have 3 brothers, 2 older, and I kind of grew up reading X-Men, Avengers. My favorite superhero is Thor. So I definitely think of myself as a Marvel guy. But in recent years, I've honestly probably gravitated towards reading more DC books because the art style of DC now, which is very much kind of influenced by the artists who are coming from Brazil. Ivan Reis, who is my favorite artist, Ed Benes, guys like that. They're who I really look to for inspiration. So I think of myself now as a little bit more of a DC art guy. But if you go back to the roots, it's definitely Marvel.
Okay.
I really always read both. I read DC and Marvel equally when I was growing up, so it's all the same language to me. I would pay attention to the writers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I kind of agree with you. I started at I think the first comic book I ever got was an X-Men comic. And, and then probably the next one was a Batman comic. And I think I kind of grew up in that world that I didn't know that you were supposed to kind of pick one or another.
Yeah.
Probably until I got to high school when I started hearing about that in comic shops, that people are, I'm a Marvel guy or I'm a DC guy. I'm like, it's all comic books, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
It never even occurred to me. I was always Batman, Spider-Man, and whatever was there to look at. So.
Yeah, well, good luck with the book.
Great.
It was great talking with you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Nice
Appreciate
to meet you.
it.
Thank you.